Even a green card isn't safe? In-depth analysis of Chinese crazy-grabbing American citizenship. After the Trump administration took office, it tightened the whole chain and all links of the immigration system, from border law enforcement to domestic investigation, from illegal identity to legal visas and green cards. Law enforcement and censorship intensify simultaneously, causing unease among groups relying on green cards for security. For many Chinese, this is not only a change in the direction of public opinion, but also a repricing of immediate risks. A green card is no longer the same as sitting firmly on Diao Yu Tai. Before the video starts, please subscribe to us, retweet our video and like. If you have a story of your own life overseas, you are welcome to contribute to us. With the threshold raised and examinations tightened, entry becomes a key focus. The new test expands its question bank and raises passing standards. And more emphasis is placed on English ability and understanding of civic common sense. At the same time, the review of good moral character is refined into the details of life and compliance. Traffic violations, tax flaws, case records, consistency of material statements, etc. may all be enlarged and displayed. Some areas have also resumed community visits, neighborhood verification and other measures, and repeatedly turned procedural and formal customs clearance into substantive. Evidence chain-driven audit costs rise. Procedures, time and money. In addition to the improvement of knowledge and moral threshold, the economic and time cost of naturalization has also increased significantly. Application fee discussions, stricter exemption criteria, longer trial cycles and interview backlogs make early preparation advantageous within the community. Many green card holders who originally wait and see would rather bear the pressure of preparing for the exam and sorting out materials in advance, rather than passively respond to the security discount of green cards when the uncertainty is greater. Brought about by false research of law enforcement, the first chain reaction is a re-inventory of old things: early drunkenness, a drunk driving, vague travel and residence records all the way. It may have been harmless in the past, but now it may trigger stricter re-entry inquiries or naturalization discussions, and the mode of long-term stay abroad is more likely to be questioned whether the United States is really the long-term residence. Therefore, many Chinese people reduce their voluntary entry and exit, and even don't contact the system without contacting it, so as to reduce the exposure of being randomly inspected and dug deep. The registration tide driven by data and trend fear. From a national perspective, naturalization applications have experienced an abnormal volume under the superposition of site selection cycle and policy wind direction, and the backlog and schedule have risen accordingly. In California, New York and other places where Chinese people are highly concentrated, civics classes and legal consultation obviously broke the news. Middle-aged and elderly students, delayed by language barriers, increasingly choose naturalization as necessity. Active preparation turns uncertainty into a manageable certainty. Community self-help from anxiety to path. Facing the simultaneous upgrade of policies and procedures, the Chinese community has quickly formed a toolbox. Intensive civic classes, ESL courses, and mock interviews dismantle the psychological pressure of fear of failing the exam into trainable skills. The other end is legal physical examination and material sorting. First, risk assessment and evidence chain compensation are done, and then the declaration process is entered. Hotline lectures and know your rights training help individuals keep calm and keep the bottom line when encountering law enforcement and inquiries, and avoid expressive mistakes that increase self-crime, disagreement, and the pull of game security and tolerance. Supporters of tightening emphasize that raising the cultural and moral threshold will help maintain the seriousness of the system and national security, while opponents of preventing fraud and abuse point out that overweight on legality and immigration will push people away from public life, reduce the efficiency of social integration, and replace identity with fear, ultimately weakening the resilience of a pluralistic society. For ordinary Chinese families, the debate of grand narrative will ultimately fall on the micro-situations of mortgage, studies, old age care, and customs clearance. Whether it can be implemented steadily is the first priority. The dilemma and decision between giving up and winning the silhouette of the case, many Chinese have experienced a psychological change from resistance to acceptance. In order to accompany their praised children and maintain cross-generational families, some people give way to the emotional consideration of retaining their origin to the practical need of stable identity. Others are forced to make up lessons due to old cases and information flaws on the way to naturalization and turn to lawyers and institutions to do compliance repairs. There is also the younger generation who, while agreeing with the stricter rule of law, choose to plan as soon as possible for a predictable life plan. Behind the multiple choices is the common pursuit of long-term certainty. The action list breaks up the uncertainty into parts. First, the identity risk is made into the form of red, yellow, and green light assessment, and the chain of immigration history, tax filing and compliance, residence and travel evidence. The red light is repaired first, the yellow light is filled first, and the green light is declared directly. Second, standardize the preparation process and divide the question bank into 4 sets of question book, situational question and answer, and oral retelling, so as to build muscle memory. Third, digitize the material management, lock the timeline, lock the certificate, and make the one-page list traceable and reviewable. Younger generations, embracing stricter rules, plan proactively for secure futures. Identity risks assessed as red, yellow, green flags. Procedural standardization and digitized management ensure certainty. Active participation replaces passive measures. It's both a hedge against uncertainty and a vote on the system. In the long run, it is not only the certificate that really stabilizes the sense of security, but also the public participation that is opened by it. Registering names, paying attention to issues, and expressing demands through procedures. The balance between security and tolerance will not be achieved overnight, but when more citizens move from the affected to the influenced, the resilience and voice of the Chinese community will also rise. When fear no longer dominates choice, and identity and belonging become the main reasons for planning, the initial intention of immigrant countries will be more sustainable. Finally, please remember to subscribe to us, forward our videos, and like.